Welcome to PAMLI Vlogs, and in today's video we are going to look at life-saving techniques, and my colleague Karl Marx into details is going to explain to us how we can do CPR, that is cardiopulmonary resuscitation, into details, chin lift maneuvers, jaw thrust maneuvers, head tilt and chin lift maneuvers, and lastly how we can do what we call AMBU bag techniques. Welcome to this channel. If you have not subscribed to this channel, hit the notification bell, hit and subscribe, turn it on for more videos that we will post, and always like, share and leave a comment. Let's watch as my colleague Karl Marx is presenting to us this particular topic on life-saving techniques.
Yes, they will try to lift their voice. Correct. Yes, so that is how you know the patient is active. In case the patient cannot talk, then you come and shake the shoulders. Correct. Yes. Evelyn, John Doe, Azimio. Correct. Yes, so that is how you check for responsiveness.
So your patient is not responding. What do you do next? Short for
Help! So you can call in a hospital. You can shout for help, but as well you can call. We have the covering for the hospital. We just say we have a mass accident. I need help at the outpatient. So the covering will know whom to call. Yes, because already there's always a team in place. Yes, like in our facility, I'm not sure, but I know there are people in place. In cases of such emergencies, there are doctors on call. There are people who would be called an anesthetist who are also there. There are also nurses, people who have gone for leave and are in town can also be called back to come and support in such incidences.
Yeah, do you remember when you're shouting for help, do not hit the patient. Just shout for help, but still the patient. Shouting for help does not mean that you know you're leaving the patient.
So for okay, most of you sit to this side, and I'm right-handed. Assuming that John Doe is unresponsive. John Doe, we have tried shaking the patient, we have tried calling the patient, and he's not responding. So what do? You open the airway, but always you have to ensure that your patient is on a flat surface. Correct. You don't just begin moving the patient or doing things on the patient, and you don't know whether they have a spinal injury. Correct. So you always have to ensure that the patient is on a flat surface and a place where you yourself can easily do these maneuvers or move around. Yes. Also in doing CPR. Correct. If this surface is so high, and you're short, you ensure that there's a stool next to you that you can always climb. If it is not safe for you up there, you can always, because it's easy for them, you just kneel down and you do this. So now for head tilt and chin lift maneuver, you put the dominant hand, the right one, unaeka mkono wako wa kulia kwenye forehead, yes? And then your left hand, you use the index finger and this other one is called engagement, yes? To lift the chin, the bones of the chin, yes? So you push slightly, you do not overextend the neck, you just push slightly, correct? Yes, also for children, you do not really lift so much, you just lift a little bit and then you leave it there. You do not hyperextend the neck, otherwise you might cause more damages. Why do we do this? We do this to ensure that the tongue that is resting on the glottis, on the glottis opening, yes, it is laid back so that the airway is open. Because usually the tongue, when a patient when the airway is blocked, usually in most cases the tongue is resting on the airway. So we want to ensure that the tongue is out of the airway. So for us to do that, you put your forearm, your dominant hand on the forehead, and then your two fingers on the chin bone, and then you lift slightly. Correct. Nani anataka kujaribu? Karibu.
That's damaging.
That is damaging.
The first one was too rough.
The first one was too rough.
Yeah.
Hyperextended. Okay. All right. Thank you. Now we have confirmed that the airway is open. So the second maneuver is jaw thrust. So jaw thrust, the difference between a head tilt and chin lift and jaw thrust maneuver, we use jaw thrust maneuver in cases of spinal injuries. Correct. So wakati umegundua the cervical spine C1, C2 imevunjika, that is when now you use this maneuver. You don't use it on a patient mwenye ana spinal injury. Sawa sawa. So for that, if you know you're on a flat surface on the ground and you have knelt, usually you can support your elbows somewhere and then you do this. But you know, if you're not on the ground, you can ensure that your patient is just somewhere on a flat surface, and then you touch, you use the index also fingers and also these other fingers to touch to support the mandible, this the lower parts of the jaw. Yes, and then you lift slightly. Correct. So you hold and you support also you have to maintain this position, because otherwise if you continue moving the patient, you will cause more injuries. And after you have lifted the patient like this, we will also, so as you are assessing for breathing, you observe. By observation, you look if the chest is expanding. Yes, if there are chest movements. Sawa. Si ule mtu anapumua utaona kifua ikipanda juu, ikirudi chini, ikipanda, ikirudi. Yes, so that is how you look. And then you look at the rise and the fall of the chest, and then you listen. As you're listening, you can do this at the same time. You can listen and feel. Correct. And also observe at the same time. So you can observe for chest movement, for chest expansion, and then you can also listen for sounds. When somebody is breathing, and of course if there's an obstruction, you'll hear there's a slight snoring from afar, and you can also feel warm air, yes, touching you. Yes, so that is how you'd feel that there's air coming out. Come hapa katikati ya matiti vile nimesema. Yes, and then you put your palm. You put the heel of the palm. Yes, hapo katikati ya matiti. So ndio ufanye vizuri, for you to do good CPR, you always have to ensure that you are nicely positioned so that you also don't get tired. You have to ensure that how you're standing, you are at ease. Your base ground, the base touch is okay. Sasa hauchoki kwa urahisi. Sasa kama wewe ni mfupi, tafuta stool upande juu, usimame vizuri. And then as you put your hand, the non-dominant hand on katikati ya matiti at the sternum, yes, you lock it with your right hand. So you ensure that all the elbow joints are straight. Hakuna kufanya hivi, hakuna kubend kwa mgonjwa. Unatumia support ya mabega kusukuma chini. Sawa sawa. So as you push, you'll always note that on these parameters, there's a red line and a green line. You'll always notice that they are moving. Correct. So as you push, you have to ensure that they're moving. So as I'm going to give this, for an adult, you give 30 compressions with 2 breath sounds. Sawa. 30 compressions with 2 breath sounds. So here, that one you can use a song to ensure that you don't get tired. And then this thing, you have to know that people get tired. So you can always interchange. You interchange within a matter of seconds. Huyu akichoka, anasema nimechoka boss, kindly come as I come to your end. Sawa sawa. Alright. So as you put your hand here, ensure it is straight. Your base, uko chini ni sawa, and then you interlock these fingers. And then now, you put pressure. See? Put pressure. So do not worry about any fracture on the ribs. What we are so much concerned is to ensure that the patient is breathing. Those are things that we can sort out later in case there is a fracture. That is not an emergency. So we ensure that the patient is breathing first, and then we sort out the fracture. Sawa sawa. So usiogope kuweka pressure. So ensure you do it nicely. So you put pressure, so we say 1 3. So you don't do pole pole. So you do haraka haraka. Sawa sawa. So 10 with 2.
Yes.
30 with 2 pressure. Yes. Sasa akifanya, so akiweka and ensure position vizuri, so you'll see the chest expanding. So hata kama ni azimio 1, azimio 2, and then you come back again, and continue. Azimio. Yes.
So when you're doing your compressions, you have to make sure that
it's fitting. Unapima uangalie kwanza kama ina fit. Otherwise if you bring a small one, it will not serve its purpose. If you bring an oversized one, it will not serve its purpose. So we have to ensure that it is serving the purpose. Correct. So now right. Yes. Support this on the patient's mouth. You ensure you create a letter C. So this letter C holds on the mask up here, and then the other 3 fingers holds the chin. Alright. So you ensure you put enough pressure so that there are no air leakages. Sawa sawa. So there are no air leakages. Wacha nifanye hivi. Ndio muone. Kuna hii hapa. Kama wewe mkono yako ni kubwa unaweza shikilia, you can insert here, the better. If you know you can't hold it nicely that way, then you ensure you just put your C on top of this clear glass like this, and then the other 3 fingers are at the chin, so that it will help you lift. Sasa, lift the chin so that you put enough pressure. So now I will try and do mine, and then after this you also try and do yours. So we see. Unaona inainuka? Unaona green kinuka? Is a green line, but of course nasikia bado kuna leakages on my side. You see it? So you always have to ensure as you're giving this, Kisumu 1, Kisumu 2. Azimio 1, Azimio 2. There is this thing that it is called the oral pharyngeal air, or the guadel. So this guadel, usually we place it on the patient's mouth to open the airway, to support the tongue and ensure the airway is earlobe to the mouth. Sawa sawa. So this is how you know that you have the right size of the oropharyngeal airway instrument to be used. So once you have this, there's a way you insert. So this is supposed to go down like this. Iye kwa mdomo, isimame. And once it is there, you do not remove it. And you ensure that you do not insert until this rubber goes in. This rubber has to remain on the lips of the patient's mouth. Sawa sawa. So how to insert this? You do not insert however much it is supposed to go like this inside. Iingie ipite kwa airway. So this is the only way inaweza ingia. Ukiingiza hivi sitarudi juu. So we insert it like this. So for you to insert it correctly, you have to, if it is going in like this, so you have to insert it like this on the opposite direction. Sindio? So for this one, na huyu patient wetu na yeye yake ikwagi, airway ikwagi hivi.